Welcome to the Deerwood Realty Show. I'm John Shank, founder and managing broker of Deerwood Realty in St. Louis, Missouri. That's going to come up key here today as we talk about something that happened to me on the internet. Yes, that's right. I think I finally made it now in Twitter where people will engage me. I got up to, I think I'm at 600 followers. And so if I write something, somebody's bound to have a disagreement. Yesterday I got involved in not a kerfuffle or anything. I just wrote some stuff and it got picked up and got sent all over the place. This morning it happened again, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't go on the internet to attack people. I go on the internet usually just to if I see something, I'll either agree with it or disagree with it, or I'll have some fun with it. But as you know, on Twitter, people get paid to to rip on everybody else. And so I got my share of it this morning, and I wanted to go over it with you because I thought it was fairly innocuous, and I'm still a little bit mystified by the whole exchange because I can't believe somebody that's supposed to be an expert in housing across the United States, especially that it's going to go down and everything's going to be terrible, which, I've thought for quite some time, but it hasn't happened. I was surprised that he would jump on me or whoever it is because he doesn't even have his name in his account. Now, I used to follow him and everything. I stopped following him a while ago because he's an idiot. He wrote some stuff that was just so far gone that I was like, I don't have time for this stupidity in my feed. So it was odd to me that he decided to respond to one of my responses in the open Twitterverse or Xverse. Anyway, let's get to it. So here's the first tweet. It was unusual whales. And lately they've been doing some stuff that's irritating me. First of all, they're using Clever as a real estate source, and Clever is a discount brokerage referral company. So I don't really trust their data at all. Never have. It'd be like saying Redfin or something like that, or using them as a source. I like to use Redfin's stuff, but when Redfin talks about agents making too much money or agents doing this, I don't think too much of Redfin. But anyway, same thing with Clever. But anyway, so Unusual Whales pulls up stuff, and I commented on it. But the first thing it says, with mortgage rates above 7%, home buyers are still getting outbid by all cash offers per MW. I think that's Market Watch. Okay, and I wrote, I'm just going to go through it. It's not that long or anything. I wrote, my last listing had 5 investor all cash offers and 2 offers with a traditional mortgage. It seems to check out. So I'm in St. Louis. I had a listing. These were the substance of my offers, okay? I'm just saying what is true to me because it happened, all right? Who better to know what happened in this situation than me, right? That seems logical. Okay, so I'm answering that I think that makes sense. In fact, the offer that ended up winning was a cash offer of all the offers, okay? So then this guy, Darth Powell, comes in and says, sure you did, and he gives a graph of, oddly enough, the national statistics of United States existing home sales. So has he ever been to where my listing is in St. Louis? Does he know the neighborhood? Does he know how I priced it? Does he know anything at all about this? No. No, he knows nothing. And it's fascinating to me. It's like the same people that are on Twitter and they write source. It's funny. It gets to the point where it's just funny. This guy doesn't know anything. All right. Now, back in the day, he was in mortgages with Countrywide. If you know how that ended up, you don't feel sorry for him. But now his main shtick is literally, shit posting on the internet, which is fine, right? Everyone's got to make a living somehow. I was just surprised he came after me because in the past, we've been pretty sympathetic to each other's plights, right? So then I wrote back, you can show me as many graphs as you want. I have the offers. Are you stupid? Right? I mean, how hard is this? You can post anything you want to about national data, okay? But it doesn't mean anything to a local market. I mean, for instance, I know right now that Florida seems to not be doing as well as it was. Austin, Texas seems to be not doing as well as it was. Phoenix doesn't seem to be doing as well as it was. But I can't talk to the individual pockets of cities and towns within those areas to know exactly what's going on based on my limited understanding of the geography and reading the internet? When what's going on in Dallas, Texas, have no idea. Have no idea. And Texas is a big state. So there's probably some place where it's doing okay, and there's probably places like Austin that aren't doing okay. The only thing that I know is that they're having places that were boom and bust, or where there was big iBuyer activity that typically indicates that there's problems. It's all I know. It's all I know. So then I wrote that, and then he wrote, sure you do. And so now he gives me another national graph of U.S. single-family homes with the percent of properties with recent price reductions. And it's like, again, are you just nuts? Like, if I say I have this, okay, in this market, at this place, or I had this, who are you to refute what I had? Like, you're telling me I'm a liar when I have the offers? It was very, very odd. It was very, very, and he had like a brain dead friend, like talking about stuff and like, oh yeah, that realtor's lying. It's like, I get it. People don't like realtors and everything. But why would I lie about my own listing that's already sold? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And why would I, like, I'm not even puffing up my listing or anything. I'm just agreeing with the person that wrote originally that the topic was, with mortgage rates above 7, home buyers are still getting outbid by all cash offers. That's absolutely true. In my case, I can't speak for any other house any place else in the country. And that's what I wanted to get to tonight is, look, if you haven't figured it out already, people make money on certain things. This guy's whole shtick is that the housing market's going to go down. It's going to get crushed, and everybody's going to get just murdered. It might happen. It hasn't happened yet, though, and it hasn't happened for 2 years. And so it's kind of fascinating to me that he would waste his time with me, or I say he, it could be a woman. I don't know. But that they would waste their time with me when I'm just simply agreeing with someone else wrote based on my own data. I thought that was kind of interesting, and I thought I'd bring that to you today. Had some questions I wanted to go over just in theory. Let's see if we can kind of figure them out. So why is it so important to rely on local markets knowledge rather than broad national trends? And I mean, I just tried to explain to you, St. Louis County has like 98 different municipalities within it. I have buyers all the time that confuse, like, let's just say Florissant real estate, okay? Like a 1,200 square foot house in Florissant with a 1,200 square foot house in Kirkwood, okay? It's not the same. It's not the same. You're going to have a very, very different price. In fact, when we were looking at on my last show, which I might put in the cards on the video, but that takes a lot of skill and I might not make it. I was talking about how it was saying that St. Louis was so affordable to buy. And I'm like, I don't see how it's more affordable than other places. It's still pretty darn high based on what I'm seeing. And then I explained, St. Louis County is different than St. Louis City. St. Louis, we're like the same as Baltimore, where like our main city isn't within the county, which is odd. So anyway, statistics in St. Louis are always screwed up. Like if you look at the murder statistics in St. Louis, we're always like top 1 or 2, maybe top 5 now. But it's because we have such a small little place, and it's like if you go to Detroit, for instance, you have Wayne County. Detroit is in Wayne County, so it's within a huge space. I think the widest point of St. Louis is like either 9 or 10 miles. It's not that big, the city, and so you get these odd statistical numbers. I think it's been unfair for a long time, but no one's gonna care. It's just as easy to say, hey, St. Louis is a dangerous place to live. What are some of the common pitfalls of taking advice from internet gurus on real estate? Well, look, if you like, the whole real estate game is a joke online, and I've always tried to come with like a level of honesty and sincerity about the stuff that I see. I don't say that the market is super hot if I don't feel like the market's super hot. I don't say it's super cold when it's super cold. If I don't think that is the case. And I also, my whole thing for the channel even starting was take national news and just take a look at it, and does it make any sense based on what I'm seeing in my local market? And it oftentimes doesn't. I know I know how this works, and I'm trying to do something as a benefit, but I don't know that people can figure it out. If this guy can't figure it out, I don't know. I don't know how others can figure it out. How can home buyers and sellers verify the credibility of the information they receive online? And I think this is a very simple thing. This is what we can do with everyone. You don't need the government to ban misinformation. What you do is need to teach critical thinking skills. And I know that sounds crazy, but look, you should be getting your data from a variety of sources. Okay, like for instance, I don't believe the unemployment numbers that come out. They always seem to be revised downward in the direction that would benefit the administration. And I say that with this administration. I didn't notice as much with the last administration, but it sure does seem like it's bad during this one. Now that may change in the future. But certain things, it's like if you go to my profile on Twitter and read the things I've written, you can choose to agree with me or not. You can tell if I'm being credible or not. If you go to that guy's feed and look like 2 years ago and see what hasn't happened. Go look and see who he was supporting for president. It's fantastic. Fantastic. He is a mess. So anyway, and it wasn't Biden, just so you know. Like I don't want to do a Trump Biden thing, but you should just go look and see. He's just lost it. So anyway, I think that would help quite a bit. What lessons can we learn from real life experiences that contradict national statistics? Well, doesn't that happen all the time? Doesn't that happen all the time? When you read a news story about St. Louis in the newspaper, okay, in like what used to be USA Today, I don't know if they're still around anymore. In the New York Times, for example, the Washington Post, when you see a story written about St. Louis, it's quite different than if you actually live here. And this isn't really a slight against those publications. It's just if you don't live in a place, it's very hard to capture exactly what it is you're seeing. So for me, my biggest problem with this is I'm not going to show the guy my literal offers. Like I can't send him PDFs of my offers. And it doesn't matter because that wasn't his goal. His goal was just to take a national narrative, throw it on top of St. Louis and move on. Are there places in St. Louis where you probably aren't going to get multiple offers? Absolutely. Absolutely. But in my case and what I was doing and my marketing strategy, I was. How can real estate professionals effectively communicate local market conditions to their clients? Well, I mean, everybody should have a real estate agent that they trust in their back pocket. And I know that sounds crazy, but I always tell my clients, my former clients, their friends, anyone, even if you don't use me in the future, because I've had people ask for data and then go with somebody else at the end of the day. They're just using it to kind of check out the other person. It's fine. I don't take it too personally. But you should have someone that you trust as a real estate agent with you at all times. Just that you can call, no obligation, no hard selling. Just, hey, man, I'm thinking about like doing this to my house. Do you think it will add value in the current market? That's a reasonable question that I can answer any day of the week. Hey, John, where do you think this is going? How do you think this will work out? I'll give you my opinion, okay? You should have someone like that who's not afraid to give you an opinion. Just this weekend, I had a nice couple ask me, they're getting older and they're like, should we put a walk-in tub, in our bathroom? Will that increase the value of our home right now if we need to sell it? And they've already got so much equity in the home, they're better off just lowering the price and getting out. No one's going to the buyers right now aren't going to really like their design anyway or their style. And so I'm just more than happy to tell them that and move on down the road and just be honest with people. What are the risks of making real estate decisions based on inaccurate or misleading data? Well, there's times where where agents are shifty and they'll make comps look like a house is worth more than it is for some benefits. And then there's times where they'll make it look like it's worth less than what it is for some benefits. If you think that a wholesaler or a house flipper is going to give you the exact comps they use versus like what's really out there, you'll be shocked, okay? You'll be shocked. So it's a question of who you trust at the end of the day, and the person should have a track record. It says, how do different regions in the United States vary in terms of real estate market conditions? It used to be Realtor.com and the National Association of Realtors did like Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, Southwest, and like middle. I think that is not the best way to do things anymore, but I don't know a better way. Maybe you do it based on population. Maybe like the big population areas versus the smaller population areas, or that kind of market size. Say like 3 million in a marketplace or market size or one, and then, anything up to 3 million is a different one. And then below like 100,000 is a different one. I don't really see it being broken down by region as much as it has been traditionally. I understand why they do it, but I just don't see that as being reasonable in this day and age. What might national charts and statistics fail to capture in the nuances of individual markets? Well, everything. I mean, our market is so vast in St. Louis. Houses in the hood are going to sell at a different price than houses out in the suburbs that aren't in the hood. Okay? That's just the way it is. And then there's certain parts of the town that are the hood, and there's certain parts that aren't. You really, really do just kind of have to know, or you have to trust your agent to help you find good valuations for properties. And then how can individuals protect themselves from misinformation when navigating the real estate market? Like I said, just find a real estate agent you can trust and that doesn't mind you giving them a call every once in a while to help help bounce an idea off of. Certainly I'm available. If you put something in the comments, I tend to write it down. I tend to answer. I don't have that many people. I mean, unless I don't understand the question. But I don't know everybody's circumstance, and I think we can all be guilty of that. If somebody writes me like, hey, should I sell my house in Arizona to a flipper for X amount of dollars? I don't think that I'm the right person to ask. I mean, I don't think I can answer that question accurately. But certainly if we get like a certain part of St. Louis, I'm pretty sure that I can have a very good answer for you. Anyway, with that, I'm going to head on out. I just thought it was odd, and I thought it was kind of fun in the same way to actually get somewhere online to the point where people are actually replying to your comments out of the blue and attacking you. It made me kind of happy in a weird way. So with that, I'm going to head on out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.